gonna get my kombucha. I mean, I'm gonna get not kombucha because that.
Where did you learn about kombucha, by the way? What got you into that? Just curious. Just curious where you heard that that's a good idea. Any guesses in the comments where he got the idea that kombucha was necessary for him?
It rhymes with STD.
It rhymes with STD, and that's a good metaphor, too, for what it is.
First question was, how do I do a one-night stand? 18-year-olds girls. So
they have to be 18-year-olds specifically.
All right.
I mean, at least 18.
All right, we'll just put it this way. Okay, so for you, how do we get younger women? All right, so in all honesty, it comes down to your personality, and I'll put it this way. Really, the girls don't care. What they care about is what their friends are going to think or what society thinks, but they're going to look to you as the cue. So here's the funny thing. People have really weak frames. They have weak realities. So if you believe something stronger than somebody else believes something, guess what? It becomes the new frame. That's how the world works. If you believe something stronger than somebody else believes it, it becomes the new reality. It's actually kind of like the Matrix. Like right now, you guys are watching this video. We're creating cult-like following, I like to think, and you know, if we weren't doing this, I don't think at least in our area of the people that watch our shit, there wouldn't be like the community wouldn't be as strong, at least from our perspective, because our frame is kind of like superimposed over the top of the people that watch our stuff.
Well, with being older, what I would think is basically, let's say a girl, you haven't made a good impression on her, and then you tell her your age. You say, oh, I'm actually 10 years older than you. And then she's going to think, ew, that's gross. Yeah. I would never be with someone that age. But let's say so far, like you've had intense eye contact, you've had the sexual energy, you've been charming, you've been fun. And then you say you're 10 years older, and she says, I actually like older guys. The frame of it is going to be completely different. So if you have trouble attracting girls who are younger, it's probably because they're just not attracted at all. It has nothing to do with age. Or maybe you're treating them differently when they're younger. So maybe when you find out the girl is younger, you tell yourself, oh, it's really hard to get younger girls. So you act more stifled, you act more hesitant, and you don't like come at it full on. This is why a lot of guys have trouble with like the really hot girls, like the Instagram model archetypes. They're not really harder to attract, but you feel like, oh shit, this is this pedestal, right? You put the girl on a pedestal. This is the dragon that I have to slay. You make it a big deal, then you act awkwardly around her, and then she rejects you.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll put it one other way. All right, so if I'm talking to like a younger girl, what I'll oftentimes do is I will maybe even ask her age, but I ask it in a way that's like me screening. It's not her screening. She already likes me. So what I'll usually say is I'll be like, wait, how old are you? She'd be like, 19? I'll be like, okay, wait, what do you do for a living? And now I switch on to another subject. I didn't let her sit on it to ask me a question because it's not about me. She already likes me. My age is irrelevant. Her age, though, matters. That's going to sound really... It's more of a framework. All right, it's the frame. It's like, are you the prize or are you the seller? Are you the seller or are you the buyer? And the idea is that we're the seller. Like, in honesty, the girl doesn't want a guy that's lower value than her. And if you come across as the buyer, like a lot of these other guys who will show up on a date with flowers, or they'll go buy her, take her to a really expensive dinner, bring a nice suit and tie, and put all this pressure on the girl is not going to like you. The girl's not going to want to be with you. The girl's not going to want to stay with you for a long period of time. It's just the way it is. Girls don't want an inferior. They want somebody that's at their level, if not a little bit above value-wise. And the way that you present value is you believe in yourself. You don't like, oh no, does she like me yet? You assume she already likes you. Even if she doesn't, by the act of you believing that she likes you harder than she doesn't, she'll end up liking you. All right, good.
Sounds good. Next question.
Next question. All right. Because that wasn't weird. Post this on YouTube? Yeah, we're going to post this on YouTube. We actually are going to hit a separate YouTube channel. Has pickup changed your life in the ways you didn't expect? So, has pickup changed your life in ways that you didn't expect? I honestly, I read the game, and I think like I actually liked the way my life came than what I like the way that it became rather than what I expected it to be. I expected myself to float and I don't know, like girls that bow to me as I entered a place or something like that. But in all honesty, that's not how the way it is. It's not like that. It's I don't know, it's a lot healthier. It's a lot healthier. You kind of learn how to love yourself, and through the act of learning to love yourself and being more authentic and a cool, authentic person, people get drawn to you. It was like every year of my life, I remember there was like a cloud of depression, and depression kind of started dissipating. And that was the thing that was the biggest part for me, was that it was just like a dissipation of the depression for me. So I kind of needed this. I needed this to actually start working out for me, because it was just too painful.
So what was surprising for me is that sex, like that part's great. but that actually wasn't the most rewarding aspect, or even having a girlfriend wasn't necessarily the most rewarding aspect of a game. It was actually the flow state you get into when you're doing it. That's the most exciting part of it. It's just, I never expected that to be so engaging. You just, when you get fully in the zone, you're fully in the moment, it's a high. It's like taking a drug. Like, it's a high like no other, and that itself is incredibly rewarding. And I never thought about that. That wasn't something I expected or I'd heard of, but it's amazing. Sometimes it's an out of body experience almost. You feel like you're just watching yourself from outside, and it's insanely fun, and that is its own reward. Sex often, like, it's cool, but that's not even better than the state you get in just being fully expressing yourself and fully in the moment.
Yeah, and girls are not attracted to things that other. So I started working TikTok, and the problem with TikTok is it's a lot of guys don't usually watch our content. And here's the problem with mainstream society's views on what attracts people. So the problem with mainstream society is that, like, from our perspective as men, we assume that women must be attracted in the same way, but they're not acting the way that we expect them to act. So anybody that's been out approaching girls, you guys really quickly start realizing, wait, what's going on here? The girls aren't doing the things that I would do if I were in their shoes. If I send them a dick pic, guess what they end up doing? They're not like running over to my place. Instead, they're blocking you, right? Because, like, if a girl sent you a picture of her boobs, you'd be running to her place. But the girls are not attracted in that way. Girls actually care about who you are as a person. They care about your self-perceived status as opposed to who you think you are. Like, a lot. That's a big thing. It's not like the biceps. It's not, the biceps that make a girl attracted to you. Because, like,
Look at those biceps. I mean, come on.
I mean, like, who wouldn't be
Are
attracted?
you sure? Are you
point.
sure?
I'm kind of sexy. Yeah, I get you. But yeah, so it's yeah, society just has a lot of things wrong. I mean, nothing against it, but it's like the same way that, like, I don't know, like, it's really tough to, like, talk about nuanced ideas, and this is why it's tough to talk about nuanced ideas, because you actually have to sit down and listen to it. And there's so much content, so much material out there on every subject, and when you don't understand something, you automatically assume that you understand everything about it, because you're just too ignorant to understand that. Like a lot of people think they understand cooking, but when you actually start studying cooking, it's like, oh, there's like this type of thing, there's this type of thing, and then, like, it becomes a lot more complex, and you realize how idiotic you actually were in it. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. The more you know something or understand it, the less you realize you understand it, and then hopefully you start moving to a place of mastery. And that's honestly how dating is in the real world. People think they understand it. Women don't get attracted that way. They get attracted to self-perceived status, and you act a certain way when you actually believe in yourself.
All right, next question.
Why do I keep getting flaked?
Why do you keep getting flaked?
You go for it.
I think there's two major reasons that are worth honing in on. One is that you didn't punch through the wall, that you didn't show enough intent, that there was no sexual tension, so you were just too soft in your approach. Your approach kind of was hesitant, and it didn't have that masculine polarity to it. And ways like your voice, like, how strong is your voice? Are you speaking with passion? Are you speaking in a breaking rapport tonality where it sounds masculine? Or are you like, oh, hey, it's nice to meet you, right? Which one are you closer to? And a lot of guys, like, just record the audio of your approaches. You might be shocked to find that the way you're talking is kind of subservient. Like, it's like you're talking to someone who's above you rather than talking like someone who, I don't want to say above her, but someone who's equal, right? Someone you're totally comfortable around. And then eye contact is the second part of that. Like, are you making intense sexual eye contact? Like, you need to give her the impression that if you were in a room together, you would pick her up, throw her on the bed, and ravish her. And if girls don't feel that way when they meet you, what is the reason to see you again? Like, why would they want to see you again? If there's no possibility of something sexually exciting happening, why would they want to see you again?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the first aspect.
Daddy? If she can't call you daddy, then, I thought I heard her laugh. If she can't call you daddy, then, like, she's not going to be sexually aroused by you. That's, like, the honest truth. She wants a man. Now, a lot of you guys are insecure with being called a man. You guys are like, oh, no, I'm a boy. But if you said I'm a man, you guys would be insecure about that. You guys would feel uncomfortable with that reality. There's also, like, if you guys want, you guys can watch and sit down and whatnot. We don't care. You guys just hang out. You guys don't have to hide and whatnot. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, I like the pink, though. That's cute as all hell.
Shows you're comfortable in your masculinity.
All right. Okay, so what was the question? It's flaking. All right, so the reason flaking happens is because what people will do is that when you talk to a girl, the girl will do almost like a value assessment versus risk assessment. So when she thinks about hanging out with you, she's like, I can hang out with this guy that might possibly be cool and fun, i.e. attractive, or, free of outcome, high status individual, or is he going to be a loss? hanging out with them is a lot. So she can either hang out with you, which is like maybe like a very low chance of you being cool, or but a high risk of it being weird, awkward. And girls are not as adverse to like negative emotions because they don't have to get rejected as much. On the other side of things, though, she'd go hang out with maybe her friend Brittany. Brittany, she has a lot of past experiences with. Brittany is a positive game. She's a very high chance of being a good time. So now she's doing like this value assessment. And guess what? Brittany is going to be a better value assessment. So she's going to hang out with Brittany instead of you. And now she flakes you. Or she gets insecure and gets in her head, overthinks it. And then because she overthinks it, she's going to be like, oh no, my makeup isn't on point. My hair isn't on point. And like, I'm just not going to show up. It's like, not to mention a girl has so many guys on her phone trying to hang out with her. Like, as opposed to most guys don't have as many options as a woman. So guess what? The girl's going to flake you because she's like, oh, dude, I have 100 guys who want to hang out with me. So is it really that big a deal if I hang out with this one person? Whereas you are thinking about it throughout the entire week. She thought about it once. And now she's like...
That is usually true.
Unless you're a high-quality individual.
But I would say, for example, like there was one girl, I had a 2-minute interaction with her like 2 months ago. And then I never ended up meeting up with her. And then a few days ago, she said... Haha, hey, haha, I was thinking about you, haha, what are you up to? And that's at 12 a.m., clearly kind of a booty call text. And that was from a 2-minute interaction. But there are a lot of guys vying for any girl's attention. So if you don't stand out from the crowd, there's no reason for her to want to see you again. She's like, but if you stand out just a little bit, because most of the guys are very weak in the way they're hitting on her. We just were messing with a girl's Bumble account, and I noticed 2 things. They were either super boring, like, hey, how's it going? What do you do for fun? It's just super boring, no dick behind it, or overly sexual.
My girl's getting some food.
Very nice of her. So,
what?
I said,
what are you guys getting?
Some.
Food?
I'm sorry, you're talking.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Keep talking, sir.
Yeah, I'll get some food though. Whatever you guys want to get me.
Do you want some food too?
No, I'm good. Thank you. It's quite the pose. Karate. All right, so.
All right.
Or it's just hypersexual. It's like, hey, want to fuck? Hey, want to come to my place? And both come across as extremely needy, extremely lame. And out of like the 30 guys I messaged, none of them had anything resembling decent game. So the competition is there, but the bar is fairly low. So if you just have a little bit more intent, you're a little bit more free from outcome, like you're a little bit more willing to walk away from the other guy. She senses you're not pushy, you're not needy like these other guys. Yeah. If you have a little bit of those 2 things, that'll be enough to stand out and make your numbers solid. Yeah,
so check this out too. So you can act in a way that's high status, and the better you are at this and the more congruent you are to this personality, the better off you'll be. So a lot of you guys are just getting into this and you're trying to fake this personality. Guess what's going to happen? There's going to be little things in there that are incongruent to who you actually are. So you're going to be like trying to act like a boss, but in all actuality, you feel like maybe like a kitten. You're trying to act like a lion, but you're a kitten. You're a paper tiger. See, I pulled your stuff up. That was his. I mean, that was mine. Trademark Charisma King.
All the good ones are his.
Yeah.
All the shitty ones I came up with, right?
Yeah. We got this down. Right. So here, we'll go to the next
question. Let's do a few more. We don't want to, because we have so many things to cover.
Yeah, I got you.
And then we'll go to the things we want to talk about.
Matthew wants to hear the drama. All right, we're getting a lot of people said drama.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, everybody likes drama.
Not surprising.
Has it been so experienced in pickup hurt your life in any way? In your opinion, has been being so experienced in pickup hurt your life?
That's a good question.
Yeah, actually it is. I do too. I actually got like last night. So my girl is like insecure about me messing around with other girls, stuff like that. So I had to like sit her down and talk to her about it. Like I try to explain to her because other guys will like date a girl and then like because they don't have any options. Second, like because they're in their relationship, girls now they're gonna act in a way that girls like them. So they'll jump from one girl to the next and I'll do it like that. But like when you're in game and you actually are like the high value individual, you already had the options of any girl you wanted. So when you start actually dating a girl and you're messing around with another girl, are you going to leave that girl for you're going to leave your girl for that girl? Not really. Because the girl that you have is if you chose her from like a place of abundance should be like the highest quality option that you could get. Like I've been like, I was single for a couple of years and I don't know, like out of all the girls, this girl had the best personality, the best, like she was attractive, she's cool as all hell. We do threesomes and stuff like that together. Like is there a chance I'm gonna leave her for another girl? No. So like it's not like a loser who doesn't have options. Like that guy's gonna do that kind of stuff and hurt a girl. Whereas I'm gonna be authentic with her and tell her the truth. I'm not gonna leave her for another girl. Like I have those options.
So most guys are too needy in a relationship, right? They don't have enough abundance. They don't feel like they could replace her. But if you've done a lot of pickup, you can get to the point where you're too abundant and she gets too attached to you, right? The girl gets too needy and too attached to you. That's very easy for it to happen because, well, first of all, if she knows you have a pickup channel, especially, then she's watching that and knows like what you're doing. But then secondly, just the way you come across is very detached, very like you're willing to walk away. And because she senses that, there's usually going to be one person who gets more and more desperate and attached over time. So it becomes important to make sure you're with a girl who has really high self-esteem. Because if you're not, then she's going to get more and more attached. Even if she was really cool at first, even if you had a great chemistry, everything was great at first, over time she can get more and more attached because you have too many options. You're too detached, basically, because you know, well, look, if this ends, I can find a million other cool girls with no problem. And there's actually another problem with pickup. The second one is it is possible to lean towards becoming more sociopathic, to becoming detached from people's emotions, caring less. Because, well, first of all, what you're doing is you're going up to a bunch of girls and a lot of them are rejecting you. A lot of them are, not interested. Some of them are spiteful towards you. And that makes you very grounded. It makes you very unreactive. And it's good for your confidence. But what it can also do is make you kind of numb and icy in a way where you don't care about being mean yourself. Like you just don't give a fuck about people's emotions. And that's especially a problem. The content we watched back in the day had an undertone of sociopathy, of like, it doesn't have to be win-win. So we kind of picked that up, or at least I picked that up to a degree, and that wasn't healthy. Eventually I came out of that, but that wasn't super healthy, and that's a risk to be aware of, is you can get basically too unreactive to the point that you don't care about people enough.
Yeah, so there's this idea of vibrations that they always talk about in a lot of self-development. So it's like the tiers of evolution in psychology. So the very bottom tier is apathy, then it goes to fear, then it goes to anger, which then it goes into wanting to be secure in your life, and then it goes to wanting to maybe hustle, which is where what he's talking about, the sociopathy, which the hustle, the orange, or the anger. The orange is like, I'm trying to get shit from me. So like it's like making money. You make enough money, and you're chasing that orange. You chase that orange. I want money. Now you're like, I want women. I want better friends. And you're not really looking at the empathy side of it. But what happens is eventually you get to a high place of abundance with women where like, so a lot of you guys have never had love, or you guys have never had a girl into you. And so what happens is every time some girl likes you, it's like getting a breath of air. You've been choked your entire life trying to breathe. You're like, and you're gasping for air. And now we got to give you so much oxygen that you're never going to be afraid of ever suffocating ever again. But once you come to that place, you're never that kick dog again. Now you can actually start caring about the women. Now, when you make a lot of money, like Bill Gates made enough money for himself to feel secure. Now he becomes altruistic. Now he starts caring about people. It's like you can't be a good person. You can, but it's usually like a wounded warrior type of like altruism. Like the true altruism comes from a place of like creating groundwork for yourself, like a base, and then upon that base, building that love. Because like when you're suffocating, like if I was choking you out and you were holding a knife, of course you'd stab me. Of course, you would like do anything to get out of the situation, and that's kind of what the world's doing to a lot of people nowadays. A lot of men are like quietly suffering, and nobody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm. And overall, like there are cons. That was the question, but there's a lot more pros than there are cons. Like overall, the impact has been like 90% positive, but there are some cons to be aware of, and if you're aware of those risks, that can help you mitigate them too.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to start?
Next question. One more.
You want to do one more?
Let's see if there's another good one.
All right. Here, what if I just read them off to you? Tell me which one's good.
Sure.
All right. And your no response from. But what if I'm not 6 feet? Shut up, John.
You need to be 6'6", or you'll never get laid again.
Yeah. How can you pick up girls if you're not that proficient in the native language of the country that you live in? It's energy, but I don't think I'll be a very good.
Talk slower. The main thing you can do is talk slower and practice your vocalization, practice being easy to understand. So a lot of guys who don't speak English very well, they talk way too fast and it's hard to understand. So speak slow, speak loud, and that'll help a lot. And practice your speaking so you get better at it.
What's your biggest regret in your pickup journey?
Well, that's kind of similar to the last one.
I have escalation anxiety. Escalation anxiety is just like punch it through. Once you punch through, it's not a big deal. In your opinion, like legit, like right now you have that, but you're not even gonna think about it in a year's time. It's gonna be like breathing.
You can do an escalation that like you don't have to like The only way of escalating isn't leaning in to kiss a girl. So your way of practicing escalation could be just inviting girls back to your place, because that's what enables things to happen. That's like, once you pull, things are a lot easier for like escalation to happen. So make that the first step. I'm going to start inviting girls back to your place. You don't have to escalate while you're still in a public area. The last several girls I pulled, I didn't hold their hands, I didn't kiss them, I didn't touch them. I just went back to my place and then escalated. So you can focus on escalating by actually say, hey, let's get drinks back in my place. Hey, let's watch a TV show. Pulling. And then when you've pulled, then you can work on escalating there, like putting my arm around her, awkwardly, like the half arm, and then see if you can push it further and further. So do it one step at a time and start with something that isn't that hard, because it shouldn't be that hard to say, hey, want to come back to my place? Even if they say no, you'll realize it's not a big deal. Like, they're not going to be, fuck you! You wanted to go back to your place? Fuck you! That's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to be a huge deal. And then you'll take the pressure off yourself as you realize that.
Yeah. And I don't know. It gets a lot easier with time, honestly. Like, it's just something that a lot of people get. I don't know. Like, for me, I had the same issue. If you guys are like beginners, like, it's not bad to do, but I don't escalate nowadays. I mean, like, if I escalate, it gets rid of the tension. At a certain level, it's good, but at another level, it's bad. At our level, I don't think we ever. I mean, I don't.
If it's like a club, a lot of the time I'll dance with her.
We should do it. We should do it for infield though. We should do it for infield definitely. But like, yeah, like otherwise, like if we're out and about by ourselves, we don't have to do that.
There's no need to, because people think that escalation, that's how you go towards sex. So it's a ladder, but it doesn't have to be physical escalation. It can be by teasing her. It can be push-pull. It can be by getting her to invest, eye contact, things like that.
Well, watch this. So there's a way that you can talk, and that way that you can talk, in upon itself, will get across everything that you want. All right. It's like it's a personality, it's a vibe, it's like that self-belief. A lot of guys, like the reason a lot of guys will want to escalate is because they're not getting that man to woman vibe across. Go direct until you feel comfortable with masculinity. Then from there you can upgrade. So somebody asked our age. 28. I'm 28. I am an old man by this point in the game. Age you hate, and how old are you?
29.
29. Yeah. And
according to girls, I'm 16 though usually.
Yeah, without a beard. I'm 12. If the girl likes it too, I'm 12. If it's her kink. What's your take on it?
They all like it.
They all like it. Perverts.
But what was the question?
All women are perverts. What's your take on this old technique of just whipping out your dick as a way to tackle LMR? That's what I was thinking. No. Wait, I got this though. All right. So here's the thing about that. Look, there's ways to handle LMR without doing stuff like that. All right. So for me, I had like all my issues with like one singular girl back in the day, and from there, I would never ever do like an LMR breaking technique. That stuff, and nowadays is gonna get you lynched. Not to mention too, like, all right, so yes, a girl will try to like say no, just make herself feel like she's not a slut. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing though, I when a girl says that to me, I'm like, dude, no worries, and I back the hell off. You know what usually happens? They start chasing me. There's a way that you can act leading up to it. So it's like the conservative versus the adventurous frame. I act in a way where a girl knows what I'm about. She's not surprised when she comes back to my place. She doesn't. I don't have to whip my dick out. I'm just that energy. So then the girl's like, oh yeah, this is a guy that's a very sexual being. Mm-hmm. That's of course going to happen. So
there's another level to it. With LMR, you can think about the symptom or you can think about the cause. So once you already got LMR, that's a result usually of mistakes that you've made in the past. And most often what it is, either is there's not enough sexual tension, or you were too pushy. You come across like you're the one trying to pick her up, and she doesn't feel like it's her idea that she also wants to pick you up, right? So you're the seller and she's the buyer. Yeah. And when there's that dynamic, then she's likely to give you resistance because she feels like you're pushing her into something that she's not totally sure she wants. So you really want to focus on letting the girl invest more, having more of a push-pull dynamic, or even like what I always do if I make out with a girl, I'm almost always the first one to pull away. I pull away as opposed to doing it, like getting desperate about it. Like, ooh, I'm making out. This is the highlight of my life. I'm going to keep doing this. So eventually maybe I'm totally willing to just pull back.
Yeah, and the girl's uncomfortable too. Like by pushing on it, trying to force it, like that's going to make her even more uncomfortable. You got to be empathetic. Like here's the thing too. Like you shouldn't need the sex that bad. I mean, like I do know that like if a girl has sex with you in actuality, for most guys, now you guys have a chance of actually being in a relationship with her and whatnot. Yada yada yada, but in all actuality too, you guys need to practice the empathy behind it. Like the girl's uncomfortable, she needs like more time to like relax, like she needs to get to know you. Girls need to like understand who you are as an individual, and then from there, and then she can feel comfortable doing something like that. But if she's sitting on the couch, she starts like tensing up a little bit. Either one, she's not comfortable, or and she just doesn't feel like that way, or two, she's like just somebody's not who's a little inexperienced, and if you force it, it's gonna give her like a bad experience if she's inexperienced with sex. So you want to kind of like you want to look at it from empathy side of things too. You have to understand her perspective. She's in a strange man's house. You're a lot bigger and stronger than her. You start pushing on sex. She's like, oh no, if I sleep with this guy, he might not talk to me again, because that's what happens with a lot of women.
Or maybe she's not turned on enough to even want to.
And maybe she's afraid of what you're going to think of her because you didn't present yourself as a very non-judgmental person. Because you think of yourself because you act judgmental maybe towards other people or her, or like about yourself. Now guess what? She's gonna be like, if I have sex with him, he's gonna judge me, not talk to me again. Whereas like we know that like you guys wouldn't care, but like the girl thinks you care because of the way you're acting. So you guys need to look at what you did up to that point, because you guys did something along the lines leading up to it that fucked it up. Last
thing about LMR, escalate slower.
Yeah.
Like the timeline for guy arousal and girl arousal is very different.
Yeah.
For guy, it's like it's just instant. For a girl, it's much slower. So respect that her timeline is slower, and that's where like foreplay comes in, being generous with that. Starting by making out, kissing down her neck, her earlobe, down her body. You can even simulate doing things while she still has clothes on, like simulate arousing certain areas over her pants instead of just under her pants, and get her more and more turned on. And by the time that she should be super turned on, super wet, if you will, by the time that you're about to actually have sex with her.
Yeah. Like, so, all right. So there's this thing with like, all right. So I'm actually gonna get into a little biology with this. So this is actually one of my theories. Not to, so dust off my shoulder. If you guys didn't catch the reference, Jay-Z, if you guys don't know the song 99 Problems. So check it out. So
there's that humility, that signature humility coming back.
Humblest man in the world. All right, so check it out. All right, so if a woman gets pregnant and she gets stressed out, what happens to the baby? The baby ends up becoming like the baby dies. All right, there's no more pregnancy. If you approach a girl and you stress her out, or she doesn't feel relaxed around you, she can't get turned on. Like if you ever had sex with a girl that's stressing during sex, she can't come. She can't relax into it. That's why girls like massages. That's why girls like taking their time. It's also why, like, if you have positive, good energy in your body, like the girl, emotions are contagious. She's gonna feel that relaxed, positive energy. She's gonna feel it, and emotions are contagious through the law of state transference. So guess what? If you feel relaxed, positive, upbeat, she's gonna start feeling it. She's gonna be more likely to want to have sex. Now the reason for this being is because if she is relaxed and she's positive, this means that she's more capable. That means the tribe that she's in is in a good place. So it's a better time to raise a kid. If she's pregnant with a kid and she's stressed out like massively, it means the tribe isn't in a good place. So get rid of the baby and then have a baby when the tribe is doing better. So this is one of my theories. I don't know if it's true, if anybody's into biology, or like, let me know if this sounds about right. But this is what I've been thinking about a little bit, and I think it's right, but I'm not sure. No idea.
And just never be pushy about sex. Like, really, there's no need to. Even if she were consenting, but she's a little hesitant, just don't do it, because it's not win-win. It's not respectful. So just like, if you can't get her to do it proactively to where she's like totally comfortable with it and at ease with it, then you didn't get her to want it enough. And so pull back and give space. Like, there's no need to be pushy whatsoever.
So when you guys become an authentically cool guy, or you guys are the person you're presenting yourself as, time becomes your ally, and time equals attraction. But if you guys are like faking a personality, then you have to race for sex, which is what a lot of you guys are feeling, because you're trying to fake this person you're feeling. I had a lot of that when I was younger. But at a certain point, the longer you hang out with the girl, the more she should be attracted to you. Like, if you guys are like coming into this and you guys are like, oh no, I feel like I have to race to have sex with a girl, you guys are like still at like early intermediate stage. And you guys need to learn how to like move closer to that person that you're trying to fake, and eventually become that guy. And once you become that guy, then you guys won't have LMR problems anymore. Girls are just gonna want to sleep with you.